Liam, were you able to unmute JD?
He is unmuted. It might be something with settings on his end. I'm gonna drop my number in the chat so he can give me a call.
All right. Oh, and is it okay if we wait a couple more minutes to go live?
Sorry about that. Not super
Thank you all for
familiar
your
with
patience.
Teams. Cool. I'm just pulling up the agenda as well. Sorry about that. Not super.
Thank you.
All right. Well, are we live now? Everything good? Recording and
Let me
everything?
just confirm with Owen that we are all set.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. All right, so this is a meeting of the Danvers Accessibility Commission. The date today is December 4th, 2025. It's 6 p.m. and we are meeting virtually. This is not like a normal meeting time for us. We're usually the fourth Thursday of the month, but this is kind of a special one since last month and this month are going to fall on holidays. So thank you guys for taking the time to kind of come out and meet on our off meeting. But yeah, welcome everyone. Nothing pressing right off the bat. Meeting minutes, we don't have those. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to make public comment? I don't think so. Nope. And okay, moving right along. So I know, was it Christy and Amy, or was it just you, Christy, that met with the, that went to the, oh no, you guys were both at HRIC. So yeah, if you guys just want to kind of give a little update about Human Library. I got reached out to Johan yesterday, by the way, about putting in like a grant for it. I think they're just trying to get people to fill the grant spaces. But yeah, if you want to just give a little update on what they talked about kind of at HRIC.
Do you want to go ahead, Amy?
Yeah, I totally was raising my hand. They told me to raise my hand. So yes, Christy and I both went to the HRIC meeting. And I don't think either one of us quite understood that we were going to sit as the liaison. So we didn't quite have the conversation, necessarily an update. But if you didn't get a chance to watch the meeting, I would definitely recommend watching it back. There were a lot of interesting topics of discussion, and just information shared from the public and the public comment, and some really great things that are happening in town to support individuals with food insecurity, which is really wonderful to see our youth kind of engaging. So as well as some really interesting conversation overall. So I would definitely recommend watching it back. In terms of human library discussion, it didn't really happen at that time, but both Christy and I had received some outreach from the library and from Shilpa Jacoby, who had attended a webinar and training specifically on the human library recently. And she shared some materials with us, as well as a recording that basically gives us all of the nuts and bolts on how to put together a human library event. And the legwork, the timelines, kind of all of those pieces in there. And in discussions with her, she had shared, oh goodness, I just knocked something over. If that's, everybody heard that loud thing. In discussions with her, she had shared that in that webinar, they had talked about the cost to run it, and it seemed like there was a cost of a few $100s to kind of put toward the rights to be able to do the event, as well as logistical things around providing snacks at the event and things like that. If there was any cost for a venue, which I don't necessarily anticipate for us, because we would definitely look into what community space. And so came out of that meeting feeling like we should apply for the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee grant application, which would provide us funds to be able to put that event on. I don't know if I missed anything there.
The only thing that I would add is that, so looking through the presentations, was the Duxbury Free Library that presented. Their cost for the most recent one was it's $250 to the Human Library Organization for the rights and all the materials and the training, which I think is incredibly important to have for the people who participate. And then they spent about $350 on food, and then they did some thank you gifts beyond that. So I think if we have to put in a number for that application, $750 or $1,000 would be more than enough to cover the event and all of the incidentals that may come up.
So when I applied for a grant for the film festival, the max they would allow applications for was 500. At least that's what they told me.
We could do 500.
And I'll update about the film festival in the next section, but I think I agree. I think it's worth us putting in an application for it. I think they're actively looking for that application from us based on the text I got yesterday from Johan. So we can fill that out. I think they have a web portal, but I'll text her and kind of ask her what the best way for us to apply at this point is right now. And then
I was
What were
going
you
to
gonna
speak to that, JD. Just they do have a Google Doc for it's essentially a Google Doc to fill out. And I definitely have that in-house. So I can share that information. Or
Cool.
you can take the lead on filling it out if we want.
Yeah, I
to.
filled out the Google form for the film festival, but it didn't, it seemed like they didn't know that I did it. I was kind of confused, like if they actually got like a notification that I had filled that out, or if they just have a pool of them and they haven't really like looked into the pool yet. Because both
Yeah.
Paul and her asked me if I had done it after I had done it, but then Paul was telling me to just send it to him.
Okay.
So I think I had sent it to him as well. But yeah, I think the portal is like the main way you're supposed to do it, because that's what Johan had sent me when they first reached out. But yeah, if you don't mind filling that out, that would be
Yeah,
great.
I
I mean,
absolutely can do that.
500 is a big deal as far as paying for that. I think the rest is
And that,
doable.
yeah, and that covers the cost with the organization. And that, I mean, we don't have to do the same level that Duxbury did with regard to like lunch and gifts and stuff, especially the first time we're doing it. The only question I have, and Amy, you might know this answer, is that for the grant application, is there like a window of when the program should happen?
So I have in looking into that piece of it, there's a window to complete the grant application, which is by the end of the day on Saturday. But there wasn't any indication in that document, and I haven't heard otherwise, that it needed to happen within a certain time period.
Okay.
Can I take that?
I think we
Yeah, I
need
don't
a few
remember it
months.
saying anything when I filled it out, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So that's kind of where we're at with the human library. We'll fill out that application, and then we'll at least have kind of like some money going towards that. I was hoping to have kind of more to talk about in regard to this from my perspective, because I had a meeting scheduled with both Matt Mitchell and Rodney at the town to talk about the handicap parking violation funds. But our first meeting, Matt got sick, and then our second one, Rodney's son got sick. So we have it scheduled for, let me just double check when that is. I think we have it scheduled for, no, maybe it's not on my calendar right now. I'm pretty sure, I think it's like Monday or something really soon. Yeah. No, why isn't it on my calendar? I don't know. I'll check on, oh yeah. No, it's on the 9th, 10 a.m. on the 9th. I'm going to meet with them via Zoom and kind of talk about that. If someone wanted to join me, that's totally, I'm more than happy to have someone, but no pressure to join me. Because it was kind of going to be to talk about the film festival, which is a good segue into our next section, which sadly kind of feels like it's dying on the vine. I've been keeping up with Julie, just seeing if I can support in any way and get over there. But it just seems like they're not actually having a lot of films come in now. There was a lot of initial sign up and interest, but it seems like it's kind of withered away despite there being like marketing efforts from DECA and stuff like that, which honestly, like I'm not surprised. Like I was kind of expecting this to just be a learning experience as like a pilot to kind of see. So I'm not bummed if it doesn't go anywhere, even if I get, one or two films. I'm happy to pay the prize out. We just won't do the theater rental, and we'll just screen it at the school as part of an assembly. So that's kind of where we're at. So as far as the grant for the money for that, I don't even know if it's going to be necessary. But we'll kind of see, just because I haven't heard back from Julie this week, so I don't really know. And it was the holiday last week, so I didn't have any updates. So I'm hoping like kids are back from the holiday, we're going into another holiday, we'll at least kind of have an idea, because the idea was that the films would come in around this time for us to start kind of viewing and judging and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't have any firm updates from them as far as like films coming in and stuff like that. So that's essentially where we are with that, which leaves, I know I guess we could talk to HRIC about it, but if they were to like approve that grant and then I didn't need it, if we could then just transfer that to, you know, human library or something like that. But that's pretty much it as far as the film festival and the handicap parking violation funds go, just because we haven't been able to actually meet yet. But I'm hoping those handicap parking funds will just pick up the rest of the cost of the human library so that we, you know, we can do snacks and stuff like that and make it a little more of a, you know, an incentivized event. But yeah, that's kind of it for that part. I know I put an update for you on here, Gardner, just to see what's up with everything. But if you don't really have anything right now, don't feel pressure to kind of, you know, talk through this session.
I'll give you a little bit. Now, I apologize that I wasn't there at the October meeting. For personal reasons, I couldn't make it. But I did have two things that were on my plate. One was we talked about the opportunity for on the town webpage under the Accessibility Commission for the emails to go directly to you. There wasn't, or to someone we designate from the Affordability Commission. I did talk to Jill. She is looking into it. I haven't circled back with her. It currently will go to Jen Breaker, but under just kind of an umbrella contact. And I was explaining that I think we would want things to go to whoever this group decides directly, even if it's just a CC as well, just so we can address it. So it's on my plate. The second issue I said I was going to follow up with, and I have, but I had to. My mother passed away, and it's been a little bit of a miss for a little while. I contact and have the name of the developer, the owner of Maple Square, because I can't remember if it was Christy or Amy who wanted to talk about doing a mural on the side. It was you. It was you, Christy, or both of you.
I think it was
Amy.
also.
Okay.
I think it was also fun too.
Yeah, Amy
And Fawn too. So I'm going to contact him, see if we can get together, if that's still of interest to you, and talk to him. He did say they're going to start developing that project in the spring. It's part of the project that they committed to, or the pop-up park there. So I'm going to connect and see if Amy, Yumi, and Fawn can just get on a call with him. You can explain it. I gave him a very high-level discussion. I also did ask Jill about that and the insurance ramifications, because you asked me to. She didn't know that there were any. She also suggested it's probably more of a Dan Bauer question, but that if they did it in-house and then brought it to the site and put it up, probably takes all of that away. So we have options. I don't want anything to be precluded because we think it will be a problem. I don't think either way it's going to be a problem. So I'll connect with him. I'll start including you in the emails. Amy, I have your email address. I'll include you in the emails when I start working with him, and we'll see if we can get together and see if that can happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Gardner.
Yep,
That
that's
sounds
what I
great.
have.
I think our downtown is sorely missing some art.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we
A
can all
lovely
agree with
Christmas
that.
tree, though.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Nice. So that kind of covers, you know, mural, which we're talking about. And I guess the next steps for that would be you're kind of talking to them about that. I can kind of talk to Fawn to see if Mr. Surratt's still interested. If I don't know, is it worth me asking him about developing it on site versus off site? Maybe we just decide right now to just do it off site if that's going to cut out a lot of like potential issues, you know, and we just hang it there.
Maybe you should. My suggestion is ask him what he thinks. It could be a project where the kids want to do it in school, nice, you know, so they're not impeded by the weather. It could take a while for them to do it, you know, or maybe they want to do it on site. Who knows? I don't think we should I think we should leave the option up to the school, to the kids in school,
All right.
young
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll reach out to Mr. Surratt about that. I'll include Fawn on that, since she's kind of like a contact with them as well. And then what was your other update? It was about
Connecting directly to you, or connecting directly to someone on the committee through the town's
for the emails.
website,
Yeah.
for emails or contact information or whatever it is. We do have a page, Danvers accessibility link, but it kind of goes into a generic email bucket.
Right. Yeah, because I kind of set up like just an email for us to have that kind of stuff funnel into if we get that go ahead from them. So
Yep.
that's just kind of all set. And I can just give everyone the password so they have access to it. But yeah, until we have that, I'm not gonna bother, I guess. But thanks for looking into that stuff. So
Sure.
yeah, I'll message Dr. Surratt or Mr. Surratt, and I'll CC Fawn on that. All right, anything else in regards to Gardner's update or? Cool. All right, moving right along. So I have the common threads discussion. I just wanted to keep it on here to keep it alive. But is that kind of just morphing into the human library thing at this point? Or is there more you want to talk about in regards to this, Amy, that we can kind of at least get started on or something like that?
I think a part of me is like, it makes sense to focus energy in one event at a time around that. Just give like realities of how things are going. And it seems like the human library, like done within the context of, their guidance, is going to take some legwork and some training and things of that nature. So I'm open to maybe while we're working on that, maybe doing another event. Maybe there's something that we can do that is like that, in the vein of common threads, but more like when we did living room conversations, to kind of, it's a little bit lower of a lift, to kind of guide a discussion might be something that we can do. Or, we could decide that we're going to host something, in the winter, while we get the human library up and going, because I anticipate that's going to take a few months.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we have the blueprints for those other events because we've done that. So
yep.
I think that's definitely worth visiting. And I think those discussions were super valuable. And we had good turnout for all of them. So that was nice.
We really did. And I think, maybe it's, maybe like part of it is a guided discussion, and maybe like a little bit of that common threads, activity base is kind of like an into, right? So like an opening kind of icebreakery type activity that leads into more of a guided discussion. So we could do a little bit of both, and maybe even do a little prep within the context of that group for maybe searching for people who might want to view books.
Cool.
That might be another thing to kind of think about.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Yeah, I guess it can all kind of funnel into itself. It all helps the other events that we want to do. As far as like the blueprint for the previous ones, how did kind of we go about doing that? Who took the lead on that? That was you, right, Chrissy? Yeah.
Yeah, for living room conversations, we worked with Lauren from the Heathmere Center.
Right.
And it was built around her program for that, kind of the structure, and then with the topics that we chose as the Accessibility Commission.
Oh, cool. So she kind of has like the framework, and we just kind of like customized it a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it might be, I don't know if we want to hold off for a bit or if it's worth reaching out to her. I like Lauren. She's really nice. I do have her contact info. So I wouldn't be opposed to just kind of starting that conversation if you think that's a good idea and a good time.
I don't remember how much her fee was, partly because it was paid before Jasmine left. And so Jasmine had managed all of that from
Gotcha.
from her budget. But I can always ask and say, we're in the beginnings of conversations. What would the ballpark be?
Well, and this kind of stuff is all good stuff for me to kind of have in my pocket when I have this discussion with Matt and Rodney, because it's, you know, it's actual stuff, tangible things that we can put that money towards that would be beneficial, instead of me being like, hey, we want money.
The other thing that I'm wondering, not to like, you know, take away from having like an outside consultant, I guess, kind of consult with us to put something on. Like, I'm not opposed to even just getting together with somebody else and kind of running that and like building a plan. That's relatively easy to do.
Yeah. And I facilitate stuff for a living. So
All right, yeah, I mean, if you guys are down for that, I would definitely be into kind of meeting and contributing and helping kind of bring that to fruition.
I've
'cause
kind
felt
of
a lot about it.
brainstormed quite a few ideas already when I first
Oh,
started
really?
this discussion, but it would be like lovely to like actually sit and talk them out and like
Yeah,
bounce ideas off and just like discuss. So,
but it could only be two of us meeting at a time.
right.
So yeah, if you, I don't know, how do you want to go about that? Do you kind of have them written down in a way that you can show to other people, and like just to send it out so that we all have an idea of what you want to do, and then it gives other people maybe an opportunity to add on to that or something, so that when two of you, us or you, have that discussion, you kind of have some input from the rest of the group?
Yeah, that would be great. I do have, it's on the notes in my phone, which is kind of a funny place for it to live. But I actually pulled together quite a bit of pieces, even around like how you might market it and things like that. So
Awesome.
if I can get it off of my phone into like an actual Google Doc, I will share it.
Nice.
Which
Yeah, let me know if you
might-
need help
I
with
just
any of
haven't.
that stuff. Cool. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, like if you need any help with any of the technical side of things, like transferring over the notes or formatting them or whatever, I'm happy to help.
It's honestly more of a like, just do it, Amy, than like a can you do it, Amy?
Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
Well, I was like, I can actually do it. I just have not. So. Not for
Nice.
lack
I
of
think
knowledge.
everybody will be really into that too. I know they all really enjoy the living room conversations. And I think that'll be a very doable one for us also. Any thoughts about like location off the top of your head? Like, how did you feel about the library when we did it there? Like the downstairs versus the upstairs versus some other location?
I mean, the library's a good partner for stuff that we do. You know, sometimes there are some limitations, but I have no problem with it. But I also know that the schools have been open to hosting things. We just have to be early enough at getting on their calendar.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It would be cool if we had promotion from the school that actually got more younger people into the conversations. That would be cool. But yeah, the marketing, I mean, the library has its own built-in marketing and promotion as well. So I don't think we can really go wrong with either.
Well, but that's only really an option for us if they are officially a partner and it's a library
Gotcha.
program. If it's an accessibility commission program and we happen to be using their room, it would be on the calendar, but not marketed by them.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
We got
But
to
certainly
sell it to
something I think of like that we can kind of target and share with, you know, the superintendent to put on his updates and things like that. Whether, you know, we looked into a school location or a different location, but I definitely think it's one of the challenges with, I think a lot of the commissions and committees in town is that marketing piece.
Yeah.
So.
And you know, I think we have a good ally with Alan at the school, as far as kind of advocating for us. He was really into the film festival, so if we do end up going the school route, I think he would be a good ally and a big supporter of this. And he might even want to participate himself. I'm not sure. Cool. Anything else about common threads or moving on? Cool. All right, so the last one, thanks for going to these meetings, by the way, Chrissy.
Yeah. Oh,
Still recovering. I'm doing good now, though. You know, my surgery
good. I'm
went great,
glad.
so I'm really happy about that.
Recovery takes a long time.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it's like, because I can't feel a lot of my body, like I have to like temper myself. So I'm like, oh, I feel really good. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, no, you're still within the 6-week post-op period.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think I still have a little under 2 weeks left of this post-op period. But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't feel like I have any issues, which is nice.
Good.
But yeah, you want to kind of let us know what went on with the Walk Massachusetts?
Or yeah, so we had it with a little delay because I had my own recovery time.
Yeah.
But we met on November 20th. So it was Noah Levitt, Lauren from our commission, Brendan Kearney from Walk Massachusetts, and Johnny Gomez Pereira from Walk Massachusetts to kind of go over this is it. We got the grant, we're ready to go. And so Brendan just explained more about what their hope is about like what this looks like. Really, it's an opportunity for Danvers to kind of like tap into the other projects that have been happening, like Resilient Danvers and like the stuff that we want to do is from an accessibility standpoint, and use the walk audit as a way to kind of one, see what's accessible, what isn't, and also where are there problems. And then also use it as a way to kind of start the process to make improvements in various spaces. So they recommended, or so the grant window is an 18-month window from now, about now till 18 months from now, and that what they will want us to do is to have a meeting before the walk audit happens with whatever organizations within the town or partners that we want to work with. Noah is already talking with Aaron Henry. And so from the town employee side of things, that's Noah's handling that. And Noah from there, I guess they're also trying to start like a pedestrian bike kind of commission or committee or something. So that's where Noah's coming in, also obviously as a library trustee. And then if we can like reach out to other groups, like the Danvers Rail Trail, maybe even somebody at the Department of Transportation about the 114 project that's coming up, and even schools maybe. There are lots of opportunities, but really this is a chance for us to kind of have accessibility part so we said pre-meeting, like it would probably be, late winter with the goal to do the walk audit sometime in the summer. And then there would be a post audit kind of meeting or kind of, workshops or something. And then the Walk Massachusetts team will be the ones kind of leading the whole thing and will be supporting it. So we talked a little bit about kind of what are the options for doing the audits. Obviously downtown is a prime one, but we ended up actually talking a lot about the Liberty Tree Mall and the Endicott Street corridor, especially with regard to the change in the Liberty Tree Mall building. The gym has kind of taken over one whole section, and there's now a wall inside. And so if you're inside the mall and want to get to the bus stop, you have to go all the way around now, and there are no real sidewalks. It's walking in a mall parking lot, and so from an accessibility standpoint, it really has impacted that. So doing a walk audit in that area about how is it that people are navigating this space, and how can they get from one place to another if they don't have a car, or if they live nearby and walk there, whatever. So that's definitely on the list of potential places, and especially also with regard to Northeast Arc and the location within the mall. It really is a good kind of place to focus energy with regard to us as an accessibility commission too. So we left it at that. My notes are a little sparse at the end. I was going to I'm sending them some links to some of the stuff that we have here in Danvers. And I think that I probably need to loop back around with Noah and check in and be like, okay, now what? When are we going to schedule this first meeting, and what will that look like? And I do
Cool.
have a link. I do have the slides. I haven't sent them yet because the last 2 weeks have been kind of wild and weird in my neck of the woods. So I have the links and I can send it to you, JD. I'll also put it, I don't know if putting it in the chat would work. But it just kind of gives an overview of the project and what the next steps are.
Cool. So right now, our first next step is really just waiting to hear from Noah, or kind of checking back in with him. And we're
Yeah,
really
I
waiting
think
for that next meeting.
I think the biggest next step is on me, like just reconnecting with Noah to say, hey, who are we going to talk to for setting up? Because the Walk Massachusetts team, they're going to be having a larger meeting with all the communities, so that's also an opportunity for us to. I think it'll be a Zoom in like the evening sometime, to kind of see what they're doing. So like their slide that for next step says, figuring out who else should be involved. Are there other partners in the community to connect with them? Walk Massachusetts, and then when a location time for kickoff meeting, and then reviewing any. They actually have an intern who can help review some of the existing climate planning efforts. So the Resilient Danvers and the Casper plan are things that I'm sending them so that they can see what the community has already worked on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks for taking the lead on that, Christy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that kind of covers Walk Massachusetts.
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody has any other questions or anything to add about that, but it seems like we're kind of on the first steps of that path.
Yeah.
Did they kind of like talk about how the audit itself would work?
Yeah. So they will pick a day and time and invite the community to come, and we pick whatever location it is that they start from. Say we do decide to do Liberty Tree, maybe we say, okay, we're going to try to walk from the mall to food across the street. What does that look like? Where are there barriers? Is there any shade in the area for days that it's hot? What are some risks and problems and obstacles that may come into play? They said it's not like they're saying, okay, here are, on a sidewalk, here are these squares have cracks in them, we need to repair that. Not that, but it's more bigger picture, kind of thinking about, the experience of a pedestrian trying to complete a task and go somewhere. So they also then talked about, like, once the walk audit is completed, then they'll come up with recommendations. And then they have examples of solutions for those. So they have a slide of these, let's say, like, if the challenge in an area for the walk audit is that it's really hot because it's like black, it's asphalt in the whole area. So the walk audit recommendation might be adding some shade trees or doing canopy sidewalks. And then the benefit would be cooler, safer walking routes for people who are using, so that type of thing. But from what Noah went on one that they did in Beverly last year, which is how this all started. And it was just kind of an open invitation for people to come and be part of that.
And it's kind of like a walking tour where we have like a liaison from them
Kind
that
of,
knows
yeah.
how to kind of, it's not like you don't have to go to a pre-class to kind of learn
No,
before we go. Okay.
no. And I think that part of that experience as community members participate in the walkout, they learn a bit about how to do that in other places, but it's not having to go through a training before the walkout happened.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that. Awesome. So I guess just keep us updated on that if you
Mhm.
can send
Yeah,
along
I'm gonna send this
that
now.
info. And then if we have that meeting, I'll kind of gauge where Lauren's at with that because I can definitely
Mhm.
attend that if she's not going to go. And yeah, that seems like we're kind of on the road with that one. So with that, that's kind of the end of the agenda outside of new business. So does anybody have any new business? Amy.
I do. I wanted to mention one of the things that the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee is working on. They're working on and doing their planning for their Move Like King event, which will happen in January. So that is going on. One of the things that they had mentioned was that they were looking for volunteers and people to help out with that event or planning, things of that nature. So if anybody is interested in that, to reach out to maybe Johan or, somebody on the committee.
Cool. Do you know when that's going to be?
I believe it's going to be on January 19th.
January 19th. Okay.
Actually,
Cool.
I know it'll be on January 19th because it's my birthday.
Oh, nice.
And
It's my
I put
dad.
it. Yeah.
What were you going to
Oh,
say?
I thought I put it on. Oh, I thought I put it on my calendar. I think, did they say 3 to 5?
Yeah. I can't.
I just remember it being dark out.
I can't
That's all I
remember. Let me see.
But yes, yep. Monday, January 19th. I just don't remember exactly what time. It is going to be in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I was helping. I've been helping a little bit out with it, and there is a document with all of the notes, and of course I'm not. Oh wait, here it is. Maybe this is it.
Well, either way, you can, when you find it, you can send it along to me so I can pass it along to the rest of the commission.
Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a lot of notes here. It feels very silly for me to not know this. I've had like 1,000 conversations. 3 to 5, you're right.
Cool.
Sorry, that took me like a long time to figure that out.
That is okay.
So as of right now, MLK Move Like King event is going to be January 19th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And it will be held at Danvers High School.
Held at Danvers High School. And they're looking for volunteers. So yeah, I'll send that out to the rest of the crew, see if anybody's interested in volunteering as well. And I'll also be emailing Mr. Surratt. But yeah, any other new business from anybody? No? All right, so we're ending early if we're all ready. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, everyone.